the dream of playing with your toys. If you don't play with them often enough, your toys will be taken away. Sha-la-la-la-la, Toy House is your OC's else. I love your OC more than you. I should have your OC, not you. Give me your OC toys now. Give me your toys.
What's up, fellow quacks? Let me ask you a question. Is there a right or wrong way to use an OC? Because in this video, I wanted to talk about it. I feel like on Toy House, there's definitely this perception of how you should use your OCs, but in my opinion, there's no right or wrong way to use an OC. So, let's talk about it. So to start off, I feel like there's a lot of entitlement to lore. A lot of people will see a really cool design and they feel the urge to know about the character's backstory. So they feel this disappointment when they see the bio and they realize it's empty. They're like, oh, I want to know about this character. But here's the thing, nobody owes you lore, nobody owes you a backstory to the OC that's uploaded, because Toy House is an OC storage site, so some people might simply use Toy House simply to upload their OCs and call it a day. They might not transfer all the lore that they have to Toy House because that could be a hassle. I've literally transferred all of the information from my Toy House to a Google Sites that I made just in case something happens, so that way I have a backup of everything, and that took hours, so I understand it. Even though I was copy-pasting everything, that's still a lot of time to do. But yeah, I feel like people have this expectation that when they see a character, they want to know what's going on. So when they don't see it, they get upset. They're like, wait a second, your character doesn't have any lore. You're not using your character right. How dare you? You need to be using your OC. You need to be drawing them. You need to be writing stories about them. You need to be making animatics with them and stuff. Why aren't you using your character? Get on it. Chop chop. But here's the thing. Again, nobody owes you that. They're their characters. They're original characters in their own head. And maybe they do think about their characters a lot, but they might not have the time to execute that. Or maybe we're gonna talk about something else. Another side of the OC world on Toy House that people don't want to acknowledge. Maybe they want to have the characters simply just to look at them because they're pretty. So in my Toy House core video, I mentioned that the Toy House core designs are very aesthetically pleasing. They're kind of meant to be bought, but they're not meant to be used. And I feel like that came off pretty negatively, or at least somewhat, when in reality, I don't really think that's a bad thing. A lot of people in Toy House do just like to collect popular designs, or they like to collect designs that are just very appealing to people because they're, you know, eye candy. But the problem is a lot of people do not like this concept because they see people who collect OC designs and they don't use them as selfish. They see them as hoarders. They think that they would do a better job at having the character than they would, you know? It's like really weird in a way. Like, why are you acting as if you're superior because you would do more with the character, or you would love this character more just because this person is simply collecting them? Honestly, it's just giving this like weird elitist energy. It also feels kind of jealous as well, because a lot of people who have complained about OC hoarders sound like they're just jealous that the person got this character that they wanted and they don't have them, so they're gonna complain about it, because that's the vibe that I get from a lot of this. And it's not really valid criticism. Like, okay, you're upset that someone has a character that you want and they're not doing much with them. Okay, God forbid someone wants to collect a pretty character design. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with the character just sitting there and just looking pretty? Is that really so bad? Because honestly, I can kind of see the appeal behind it. As I was thinking about it while recording this, I was like, you know what? I'm sure there's someone on this site who probably has like a bunch of OCs based on like a certain theme, separated in very aesthetically pleasing, aesthetically decorated folders. And I'm like, wow, that would be so nice to look at. You know, you just go through, you have all these cute character designs they might have gotten from people, or maybe they made them themselves, and they're all based on like certain themes. Like maybe there's lovecore themed OCs, maybe there's aquatic OCs, or maybe there's weirdcore OCs, and they're all just in these nice pretty folders. Like, I don't know, I like organized shit like that, so maybe that's why I find it so appealing. So that's just me, but try to think of it like that, you know? It's like doll collecting. A lot of people just like to collect dolls so they can sit in them shelves and they can look pretty, but for some reason, I guess y'all treat doll collectors as if they're less worthy and would rather hype up people who like to play with dolls. But here's the thing, they like dolls, both of them do, so why is one valid while the other isn't valid? They both love dolls, they both love to have dolls, but one likes to play with dolls and the other likes to look at dolls, but they both appreciate dolls for being dolls, so therefore, they both love dolls, and that's fine. I said dolls a lot in that sentence, and I hope it makes sense, but yeah, I don't like this elitist attitude a lot of y'all have when it comes to how people use their OCs, because there's really no right or wrong way to use them. If they exist on someone's profile, they're an OC, they're valid, they don't need a bio or a backstory, or heck, even a name to exist. You shouldn't have to justify people's characters existing on a site that's meant to store them. So this was mentioned in another TOUYS Saga video, but I feel like this is pretty relevant here. There are a lot of people who have terms of services where they require that people use their OCs that they've designed to be adopted within a certain time frame, or else they're like, okay, time to revoke your character. And that's such an entitled mindset to have, that you see someone who you give an adopt to, and your first thought is, oh, this person isn't using this character within a certain time frame. I need to take this character back because you're not using them right. You don't deserve them. Yoink. Like, really? That's so selfish. That's like, going back to the doll analogy, if a store that the person bought the doll from was like, oh, hey, I don't like how you're using your doll, so I'm gonna take it back actually, and no, I'm not gonna refund you the money you spent on it, I'm just gonna take it back. Like, do you realize how stupid that sounds to want to revoke a character in general, but to revoke it because you're not using it in the right way? Because again, there's no right or wrong way to use an OC. Just because someone doesn't have a bunch of shit written for the character doesn't mean they're not using them. Again, they can be simply used to be collected. They can just sit there as a nice little collection of character designs, and that's fine. If you are selling adoptables, you need to make peace with the fact that some people are going to use characters in a way that you don't like, unless they're using them for like evil. I don't really see issue with what people are doing with the characters that are being bought from you. Be happy you're getting freaking money for it. Like, damn, it's so hard to sell adopts on Toy House. Like, you should be happy you're getting money for it. Just take the gosh dang money and accept the fact that someone bought an adopt from you. Like, really? You're gonna be that strict about it? For what reason? And honestly, that reason is probably control and maybe a bit of jealousy, because they probably wish that they could just have a character simply to exist. They feel some invisible pressure to have a character be presented in a certain way. And I feel like a lot of people project that onto these alleged hoarders of the site. Okay, so I think I know why a lot of people are this way. It's profile insecurity. A lot of people on Toy House upload their characters and write about their characters in a way that caters to an invisible demographic, as if they're writing for an audience rather than for themselves. And this is how you get a lot of this like mindset of all this entitlement. This is how you get other video topics where I talk about Toy House, where people are having all these D&Is of don't interact if you like this thing, or you write about dark topics and blah 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 blah, or how people will put in their warnings, I don't endorse the bad actions of my OCs even though I write about them, because y'all keep treating your own OC profiles, things that are personal and cater to you, as if other people are the audience, and as if you owe them all this explanation for why the characters are the way that they are, instead of just treating the characters as if they're just a personal thing that you upload to a site and keeping it as that. Y'all are treating your OC profiles as if you're setting up paintings in an art gallery for an art show, rather than setting up posters in your own room. If you're that worried about how people are going to perceive your OCs on Toy House, then just private everything and keep it all to yourself, because you can opt out of all the stuff on Toy House. In terms of the social aspect, nobody needs to know that you exist on Toy House. You can simply just have your OCs be on private. You can be off the radar and nobody's gonna bother you. But I understand people who want their OCs to be seen as well. I get it. A lot of people want their OCs to be cared about. They want people to know about their characters. They want to see fan art. They want to have many fandoms and stuff. So I also understand wanting their OCs to be seen, but also wanting them to be hidden, because you don't want to constantly be performing or apologizing for how your OCs are written or all this other stuff, you know? Like, I get it, but it's still frustrating that people will apologize for the OC profiles not looking a certain way, not being very aesthetic, or being like, oh yeah, you know, I don't use all these fancy codes, or sorry that things are under construction right now. It's like apologizing for getting a new house and you invite guests over and you're apologizing because there's still some moving boxes tucked away in a corner somewhere and that the guests see it. Like, It's your profile. It is your own profile with your own OCs. You don't need to apologize for anything. People are going out of their way to find you. You're not forcing them to look at your own profile, so therefore, why are you apologizing? To end this video off, I wanted to mention that I think the way people are with OCs and why there's this mindset is also a pressure to create. I noticed that since there's an increase of indie stuff, I think a lot of people are kind of expecting people to do something with their OCs in terms of like projects. Like there's this expectation that, oh, you have all these characters and all this intricate lore, you're gonna make a project out of it, right? You're gonna make a comic, right? No, not everyone wants to make some comic with their OCs, not everyone wants to make some sort of animated series or game. Some people just simply have characters with lots of lore just because. It's a fun hobby just to make characters and worlds to escape to sometimes. You know, life can be kind of crappy, and making fantasy worlds to escape to with fictional characters that you made in your own head is fun. It's a nice hobby. And you know what else is fun? Collecting pretty OCs just to have as a collection. That's also valid and fun to do as well. Both sides are valid in terms of having characters, and there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with what you do with your OCs. There's no right or wrong way to use them. Just have fun, because if you're having fun with your characters, then that's all that matters. So with that said, I'll see you quacks later.